MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Homelessness continues to be an issue in Butte. I'll tell you what's contributing to the problem.
I'm Joe St. George in Washington. Could the 10 Commandments be on display in some classrooms in the United States? Where exactly does the separation of church and state stand right now in our country? Thursday's National Day of Prayer, and we take an in-depth look at what the Supreme Court may allow next.
Well, happy Thursday, Southwest Montana. It is a lovely morning out there. Shelley Jane McDonald, Matt Elwell. Thanks for sharing your morning with us. Gorgeous. Turn the TV around to the front window, go sit out on your front deck.
Yeah, there you go. Don't turn us off. But you can still look out the window. The sun will come up tomorrow. But you
turn us off, it'll start snowing.
That's right. I have the magic clicker, so don't make me mad, people.
Don't test him.
That's what the blue button's for.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody knows that.
Temperatures this morning, 30s and 40s for most of the area, 26 in West Yellowstone. We are seeing the potential of some showers or thunderstorms late in the afternoon and into your evening. Just the thought of that makes me smile, to be quite honest.
Don't make us blue button.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll do it. Today, May the 4th be with you.
Aww.
Yeah, it's going to be warmer. Evening, late afternoon, showers and thunderstorms. It is absolutely gorgeous to look outside. I love it. Day planner calling for daytime highs into the 70s, late day showers or thunderstorms in the forecast. Then we're transitioning to a cooler set of days. We'll talk about what the future holds. Magic 8 ball. Shake it here in the break here. We'll talk about your forecast in just a bit.
Looking forward to it, Matt. Now, we have an update on a story that we've been following since February. Jalen Williams, the 19-year-old who was found dead near Livingston off of Highway 89. Livingston Police Department released Williams' cause and matter of death, saying that the medical examiner ruled it an accident caused by hypothermia.
And adding a heart condition and THC use were contributing factors. Now, the release notes the investigation is concluded with the results of the autopsy, but may be reopened if additional information is received that would require further investigation.
And we have new information about the investigation into what the health department calls a foodborne illness outbreak at Dave's Sushi. MTN has learned the popular Bozeman restaurant plans to reopen after the health department completes its investigation. The news comes after a press release from the Gallatin City County Health Department stating that at least 30 people got sick after eating at Dave's Sushi between March 31st and April 17th.
Yeah, according to that press release, 3 people became severely sick after eating at Dave's, and as we previously reported, 2 people died, a Broadwater County man and a woman who lived in Belgrade. Health Department still waiting for toxicology and autopsy results to determine the exact causes of death. As far as the source of the outbreak, Health Department says preliminary findings indicate food containing morel mushrooms may be to blame. State Health Department investigation has determined that the morel mushrooms served at the restaurant were not distributed to any other restaurants or businesses in Montana. Mushrooms were cultivated in China, shipped to a distributor in California, and then sent to multiple states.
And we spoke with the owner of Dave's, Aaron Parker, and he tells us when Dave's reopens, the restaurant will, quote, follow and exceed health safety standards.
Now, we asked how this experience has affected him personally. Parker responded, "It's not about me, it's about the community, the employees, keeping the community safe."
And the Centers for Disease Control estimates 48 million people get sick in the United States every year from foodborne illness. 128,000 people go to the hospital.
3,000 die. Now, over 65 and younger, more than 5 years, are more likely to get sick and have it be more serious, along with those with a weakened immune system, and if you're pregnant.
Now focusing our attention to the mining city, Butte's homeless shelter is seeking help from the county and other agencies to control the growing issue of homelessness.
MTN's John Amy picks up that story.
The high cost of housing and rent in Butte is one of the factors that some people find themselves in Butte's homeless shelter. It's also the reason why they're having a difficult time transitioning out.
Places that are selling, and then we're kicking renters out because we're renovating, raising the rent, and renters can't get back in on the amount of income that they have or the assistance that they have. Then where do they go?
That's why officials here at the homeless shelter want to work with agencies in the city to try to solve this problem.
Butte's a very strong community in One, helping our neighbors, but then also in collaborating, making sure that agencies that are helping people with just basic necessities are working together.
Andrew Stiff has been a client and worker with the shelter for more than a year. The shelter has helped him cope with his alcoholism, which left him homeless and living in a wooded area near Father Sheehan Park. He said his recovery is going well, but it's difficult to find his own place once he leaves the shelter.
I'm saving up money, and eventually I will make the transition when I feel ready. I'm not gonna lie, rent prices and everything in this city right now are high, and it's scary. $800, $900 a month on your own is a lot of money to pay.
In 2022, the Butte Rescue Mission's emergency shelter received a little more than 350 unique visitors. The transitional shelter for long-term clients has 40 beds and is usually 75 to 80% full. The shelter recently asked Butte Silverbo's Council of Commissioners for $250,000 to help run its emergency shelter. But the shelter needs more than just funding.
We need people to look for answers on affordable housing, right? We need people to take care of their neighbors. We need people to care. We need people to show compassion to someone who's less fortunate, and we're seeing that, and it's amazing. We're starting to change the community.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Thank you very much, John. Now, today is the National Day of Prayer, and it comes at a time in which more Americans are identifying as non-religious and not believing in God. However, it also comes as more conservatives are considering putting prayer and religious symbols in more public places, like the Ten Commandments in some public school classrooms.
Our Joe St. George looks at the controversial debate and why recent rulings from the Supreme Court have made the meaning of separation of church and state more open to interpretation.
Religion. Maybe you believe, maybe you don't, but signs of faith of some kind can generally be found in most communities. Of course, there have always been some limits. The Constitution, after all, says the country should not establish an official religion. Well, this year, the state of Texas is testing those limits. A bill has passed the state Senate to put the Ten Commandments in every public school classroom. It could become law, pushing the debate over what's acceptable to new levels. That idea just a few years ago would have been deemed by many unconstitutional, a bridge too far. However, because of recent rulings here at the Supreme Court, Texas may just be allowed to enact this idea, and other states may follow. Let's get you caught up on what's happening. For context, the phrase separation of church and state does not appear in the Constitution. Thomas Jefferson coined the phrase in an 1802 letter. Even so, the Supreme Court over the last 50 years or so has generally always put some restrictions on faith. In the 1960s, justices said praying in public schools was unconstitutional. In the 1970s, the Supreme Court established what's known as the Lemon Test from the case Lemon v. Kurtzman. Justices then said public actions can't overly emphasize a faith, and at the time rejected public funding for private religious schools. But the justices that established that are not the justices on today's court. In fact, last year, many legal scholars believed the Lemon Test was essentially overturned when they ruled a public school football coach could pray privately after football games. As a result, conservatives appear poised to push the limits of what the Supreme Court will now allow. And it comes as fewer Americans are actually believing in God, fueling this controversy. In 1967, 98% of the country believed, and that number changed very little over the years. Last year, though, Gallup reported a drop, with 81% of the country believing. Those who don't now make up around 1 in 5 Americans. Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.